Hey, welcome back. It is getting near the midnight oil here, so I won't be able to do too many more scenarios here, but I think this might be actually the last one for at least tonight. Okay, so we successfully delivered to Atlanta, and now they want to do some stuff with Portland. So I think we're heading back up to the Northeast. Yeah, Albany, New York. Um, this one is not super bad. Um, there are a few scenarios coming up that I did consistently lose. Like, I think I have it where I could win now because I've played this game enough, but it doesn't take long to start getting tough. And this one actually is tough when it's your first time playing it. I don't think it's as tough anymore, but there are hidden missions here, and that's the first reason this is tough. So they just throw stuff at you, and you're like, "Huh?" And so the first thing that they want to throw at you is so take for example Hartford here. Hartford has a population of 2,300, and they want you to grow it to like 5,000 or some number like that. I don't remember the exact number, but you need to grow Hartford. You also need to grow Albany, and here's the real kicker: you have to grow Stratford to 2,500. I know they're at 2,300 now, but there's nobody here. there's it's showing that it has passengers, but there's no passengers available. This is nonsense. It has zero passengers, and it's showing that it has. Oh, that's Hartford. I'm sorry. Let's go click on this city. There's nothing. It has 450 people, and you need to get this up to 2,500 or something like that. So the whole point of this mission, it's still sort of tutorial mode, right? It wants you to learn the mechanics of how to grow a city. So how do you grow a city like this? Well, they give you this plot of land, and this is the next mechanic: is you can buy this plot of land for 10 grand, and then after you buy it, you then have to pay however many ridiculous thousands of dollars for an actual industry. So a very classic thing to do here is to build a farm. That's going to cost you 80 grand according to the last mission. So I need 90 grand just to upgrade this, and then I need to start delivering as much grain as I can to that farm, and then of course turning around and shipping the meat and the other stuff out of the farm. And if I do that, then I get to um, grow the city. Now, one thing that you may notice here that could be a clue is they want me to produce a sawmill or a steel mill. So those don't exist on this map. And I gotta basically buy those. And see how you see this little sale sign? There's land for sale in the city, and so it's not just Stafford that has land for sale. There's land for sale everywhere, including our starting city. Now, we happen to start right next to a logging firm, so the lumber mill really should be in our starting city. We need to just send lumber to here, or send the wood to here, make lumber, and then, because we're right next to logs, or wood. So that makes total sense. So what's next to Stratford? Well, you could do the farm strategy. That definitely works. And in fact, I did that last time because I screwed up um, without realizing that I needed to develop Stratford. Like I said, it's a hidden objective right now. Um, you're supposed to build a steel mill, and there happens to be both ingredients for a steel mill right here in Granville. So what I did last time is I actually grew Granville and built the steel mill there because as the city grows, land becomes available for sale. Now Warrensburg is another one of those weird ones that has, um, an empty plot for sale. But okay, so back to the point. I could easily make a steel mill here, and I got the supplies for the steel mill. I just have to go across the bridge, but I could deliver supplies very quickly to a steel mill in Stratford, and that'll grow Stratford just as well as anything else. So those are things to just bear in mind and consider. Now, the Stratford population being near zero, it's not exactly zero, it's 450, means that the steel mill is going to take forever to produce steel. That is the only caution I want to give you is Let's look at an industry that's already in place. Oh my gosh, there's none in the map. No industries at all. Oh my goodness. Okay, well I thought I at least had a farm or something somewhere. Um, so for example, this wheat field supply speed is 10 seconds, and then it says population effect plus 10. So the supply speed for grain is actually 20. But because the population is 2,300, it is now reduced from 20 seconds down to 10 seconds. So does that make sense? Well, if you build a steel mill where there's only 450 population, you're not going to get much of a boost. So it's going to take as long as possible to, like, that industry is going to take forever. Whereas if I build a steel mill somewhere like Boston, which has an empty plot of land, for example, in fact, they have two. See, there's two pieces of land. So if I made one of those the steel mill, the population on this one is 40,000. So the steel's going to crank out a lot quicker. Now, the challenge, though, is I have a lot further to go with my trains to deliver the input goods. So the input goods are going to take forever to get here, but once they do, it's going to crank out steel really fast. How fast do you need steel? Well, it depends. And this is definitely one of those missions where you're going to need steel. And in fact, we have to also build this thing called a warehouse, which you haven't seen yet. Warehouses are pretty neat. I think when I played my last game, I built the warehouse here in our starting city, which is okay. Albany is, I think, where I built I sent the logs to Albany instead. That's not an awful thing to do. See, our starting area stinks. Like, it's got a few passengers, yeah. It's not that great. So, and if you start looking up here, this is all nothing up here, except for, input resources. So, having the logs turn into lumber here means I'm shipping my lumber from here to everywhere else. Whereas here in Albany, they already need lumber right from the start. So if you're making lumber, you could turn around and sell it right to the city. There's some advantage to putting the logs there. So actually, I'm sort of talking myself out of and it's not that much further to deliver logs, to deliver wood to here than to deliver to there. Now, a warehouse here is not super great. Okay, what's the point of a warehouse? Well, a warehouse is a place for you to just store goods. So, for example, if you go to Albany, they will only buy these goods from you. But maybe you're trying to get paper across the map. You could go to the warehouse and store your paper there. So, or logs. Let's just say or coal. Let's do coal. I'm going to pick up some coal, and actually, this is not a great example because they buy coal, right? But I'm not trying to sell them coal. I want to deliver the coal over here to Warrensburg. So I'm going to set up a route that goes from here to here and drop it off at the warehouse. So now that coal is available for pickup. So then another train can go between Warrensburg and here. That's what the point of a warehouse is. Now there is one extra cool thing that a warehouse does, and that it lets you trade in the global market if you have the right department built. And I could literally go into my warehouse and buy wheat and have it stored in my warehouse instantly. So I can just go to the global market, buy wheat, and that wheat's going to go right into my warehouse. And then the warehouse can deliver it to the city if I want. Or it could just be there for pickup. So you could use the warehouse to produce goods. You're paying raw cash for that goods. Now, the trick that this YouTuber did, which I thought was really cool, and I didn't ever think of doing it, so I was playing it a lot harder. So he's got this trick where you take a for sale sign that is on a spot that produces goods. And you'll notice that this particular scenario doesn't have that. But let's say there was a for sale sign here at the wheat field. You buy the wheat field, you just pay the 41,000 and you buy it. And then you transfer all your wheat into your warehouse, because you need a spot for a warehouse. That's the reason why you need a for sale sign. You transfer all the wheat to the warehouse, which is done for free because you don't have to pay for the wheat anymore. And then you go into the global market and you sell to the global market. And what you do is every time you sell, you're driving the cost of the wheat down. So sell, 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 sell. Next thing you know, the wheat's only going to be worth $10 instead of several $1,000s. It's only going to be worth $10. So like right here, it costs $800 to buy, but if you sell wheat, it costs $27.50, right? Well, when you sell to the global market at $27.50, it drops, 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 drops. After you sell like 20 of them, it drops to the point where you could buy wheat for $100 or $200. Well, then you come over to this town, and you build another warehouse. So you got two warehouses now, and this one's going to buy from the global market. So you use this one to tank the global market, and then you come over here and you buy from the global market at super cheap price. And guess what? You didn't have to build any train track. You didn't have to buy any trains. You didn't have to deliver any goods from here to there. I was able to take this wheat and put it into this town for dirt cheap. Now, it does cost a lot of investment. I have to buy the land. I have to buy the wheat field. I have to, well, then that's actually all I need to do. And then I need to buy the land down here and buy the warehouse. So there's some initial upfront costs, but basically I can get this wheat to go to here instantly. And I don't need to do any of the traveling. And it's all just using in-game mechanics of the global market. So the global market is something you can really exploit. Now, the designers know this because the for sale signs are where none of the input goods are. So you need a for sale sign to be able to do this exploit. Now, if I developed these towns enough where they grew, eventually a for sale sign does show up. Because one of the cool things about the game is that as the cities grow, land becomes available. So you could eventually get land to become available at one of these places, but by that time you already have train tracks going in and out of the town, because how else are you going to grow it? You see the trick? And then for this particular scenario, I don't think you have enough time. Although they are giving us 1,200 days. So anyways, I know that was some in-depth conversation there for a concept that you really haven't seen yet, but it is very powerful, that little trick that guy showed. And there is a scenario in the DLC that you have to do that trick, because you basically start the game in debt and you have no money, and but you own these farms and these warehouses, or you have just enough money to buy a farm and a warehouse, and so basically you can tank the global market to instantly buy it somewhere else at dirt cheap prices, and you make a huge profit, because when you're tanking the market, you're actually selling those goods. So you're making money off of selling those goods, and then you're buying these other goods for dirt cheap. And then of course every time you buy, it's driving the market price back up, and then you just rinse and repeat. You let your wheat field grow back up to 20, and then you tank the market again, and then you buy 20 more. I mean, that's the idea. Okay, you don't have to get that fancy on this mission. But the one thing I will tell you is that Albany needs to grow, Hartford, and Stratford. And Stratford is the toughest of the three. Albany's going to grow like bunkers. So because Albany does need to grow, it further convinced me that I need to put the lumber mill there. So then where's the steel mill going to go? This is actually a really good spot for it in terms of delivery. Beyond that, it's not that great. I could do like a farm here, which is not bad, because then I can use Stratford to deliver meat to the various places. It works. But to be quite honest, there's a wheat field right here, and I need to grow Hartford, so what better thing to do than to get a farm or something there? Now, there is no land to buy in Hartford, so but what I do want to do is I'm going to actually buy this wheat field. Is one of the first things I'm going to do. So I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to set it up in the city market to sell. And so I just sold 3 of them there. And so population growth has already changed to low. So I'm already growing Hartford just by owning this and selling it to there. And at some point, I will connect this somewhere else, and we'll get a farm going, probably Albany, since I need to grow Albany. Springfield has two beautiful spots, so they might be a nice juicy place to buy some land. Um, the thing with Springfield that's interesting or not interesting is you sort of want to ignore it. Since I have to develop this city and this city, I don't necessarily want to go here. Um, when you're doing passengers, the speed matters. And if you connect all these cities and then you're making your passenger trains go to every one, they make a stop at each one before they continue on. Whereas if you just have one continuous track, then they vroom. And so you were at Boston, to be a big factor, and Springfield not as much. So that's another thing to consider. But Springfield is got some nice juicy demands. And then we have this other new thing. We have oil now. So oil will turn into kerosene, and then this other thing that is only used by weapon manufacturers, lubricants. And so you could see there's actually a demand for weapons here. So a weapon factory will take the lubricants. The lubricants is almost like waste product, because you're going to have so much of it, you can't do anything with it. But there's oil here as well, and so we could do the same thing. We can have the oil go to Stratford, and then have Stratford deliver the kerosene right to here, there. You see, there's so much demand for it. So we got a lot of choices. Now, why would I want the steel mill to be down here? The speed thing that I mentioned is one of them. And then the other one is I think in this scenario I need to produce tools. And then I have to deliver them to Portland. And Portland looks like a tiny little town, but there's going to be special quests for me to deliver things up there, and tools is going to be one of them. And tools requires steel. And steel is so heavy that a John Bull can only carry one at a time. Maybe two. I'd have to check again. But it's super... Well, no, we remember we had to deliver them in Cincinnati, and it could only deliver one at a time. Now that it's fully researched and all the upgrades, I think we can do two. So you can only deliver two steel at a time. Well, you need two steel is only going to make one or two tools. And then you have to transport it all the way down. It's easier to transport these. So if you have steel mill here and then a tool factory in the same city, I can just sell between the industries instantly, and I don't need to have trains delivering all the steel everywhere. That's some of the thinking ahead stuff, right? Okay, so getting back to this, I bought this wheat field, which seems like it's a waste, but trust me, it's not. We want to connect to Albany for sure, and that was 20 grand already. And then I also want to connect to Hartford, but I also want to connect to Boston. So this is where it gets tricky, but I think for now I'm not going to worry about speed. We're just going to connect straight up. And then we're going to come over here. I am going to skip Springfield for now and go straight to Boston. And that's 56 grand, largely because of that bridge. Okay, we already spent a lot of our money. But now I got at least a size 5 city here and a size 15 city here. And you see why I want to skip Hartford. This and Boston needs to do passenger transports, privately. Now, one thing I can do is I can spend 8 grand to basically upgrade this so it has 2 tracks. 16 grand to upgrade it to 2 tracks. And then I could try something like this. So again, you can see the cost there. It's 16 grand just to build that bridge. Bridges are expensive, folks. And then I got to build another bridge here So I'm up to 46 grand. And then if I go, so it's 55 more grand to connect a direct route between those cities. It might be worth it. And I have 260 grand. Yeah, let's do it. Trust me, it's going to get us some good revenue. Um, and it is nicer to have it to do it this way. So what I want to do is I want to make it so. No, I want these to be private routes. Yeah, so we're going to just set it straight. $58 grand. All right, so we just spent a fortune. Okay, so then we come back and yeah, I gotta spend some money here too. Let's get some R&D going. And then this trading department is the global market thing I was telling you about. You're definitely going to get to see it this scenario. I don't know if I need to do HR. The train's max mileage of plus 2,000 is great. But I'm not going to buy an HR department right now for that. I want to look at what's next. So remember, we had these stragglers we didn't research last time. We fully researched everything here, but the Jervis is the next one. And the Jervis costs 48,000 to research. That's a big chunk of our money, folks. The Jervis is an excellent. It has pulling mass of 60, and so it is an excellent passenger train. And so there's a part of me that wants to just research the Jervis and wait. So I'm at 10 here. I'm only at 123,000. I gotta have enough money to do everything else. And I gotta buy a train. I gotta do other stuff. And so I am a little nervous. I'm spending too much. So that's gonna be 7 grand more. And in order, see, this is 10 grand more, but I don't have the space. So it's actually 30 grand. I got to spend 20 here and then 10 there. That's too pricey. But I was willing to spend 7 grand. That lets me add 5 more. So we got to wait 100 days. So I'm actually not going to build a train right now. I got this selling to here, so I'm going to make money from this. And I could set up a grain route, I guess. I don't want to. I want to set up a passenger route, so I'm going to wait 100 days. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. And you're going to see I'm going to start making money because this, every time it produces something, it's going to sell. There you go, 27.50. So we're actually making money waiting these 100 days. So we can watch it that way, or we can come over here and see, there's 82 days left. Either way, I want the Jervis. I don't even... Now, you could argue, actually, there is a strategy here where you could just buy a John Bull, and then we can upgrade it to a Jervis later. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll buy a John Bull. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do 3 passengers and a mail. And have it go between those cities. And since we can afford it, let's get a repair shop in. And have it repair. And then I'm going to buy another one to do the same thing. So yeah, while we're waiting those 100 days, I am going to make some money here. So $38.91 for the passengers. And now he's waiting, of course, because we got only one track. They're not going to take this track because it's not as short as this one. That is one of the things you got to understand about the AI. So I'm going to slow this down. How much is the profit? $38.91. This is the passengers. And then I didn't catch the mail. Maybe it's in a report. Not really. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and speed it up again. New employee. Like, that's sort of nice. 15% each. It's actually really good. So you can see we got some decent money still stored up. So I could try to hire that employee with that money. Alright. $38.91, 2, 3, $59.30. So 3,800, 4,800, 5,800. So that's 2,000-ish. $2,100 more. The mail's profitable. And of course, these passengers are making more money because I took that thing that gives me more revenue on my passengers. See? Profit from passengers just 5% right now. So while we're making that money, we're at 165 grand. You can see this is maxed out, right? So we're not going to make money off of this anymore. So what we're going to do is going to come here. There's 2 lands for sale. Let's show you how this works. We're going to purchase. Then we get to construct. So I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick. But here's the warehouse I was telling you about. That's the cheapest. The small farm, as you can see, is no longer 80 grand like it was in that last scenario. It's a lot cheaper. So farms are definitely an early game way to go. The sawmill is in the middle. And then it just gets bunkers from there. Okay, so we're going to do the farm. And then we're going to get a John Bull up. Grab 5 of those bad boys. We'll do 5. And deliver it to the farm. Non-stop. And then from the farm, we're going to sell the meat. And make instant profit. Alright, and then from a train perspective, a track perspective, I am going to run out of money. That was 20 grand just to do that. And then it's another 10 grand to buy this land. And then the see, and then I don't have enough to buy the sawmill. But so I need 64 grand, but I'm going to go ahead and just let it go now. It would also be nice for them to have 2 pathways here, or for me to at least, make it so there's 2 pathways between here and here, so I'm not paying for double bridges. That's another trick you can do. You don't have to do double pathways the whole way. Just do it from here to there, and then again from here to there. That'll save you the $32,000 for the 2 bridges. But nothing is faster than having its own private lane, of course, if you can afford it. Now, they will consume this, and when they do, then this will get used again. And there you go. The Jervis has been completed, and that's all the further it goes. Now, this here is all locomotive lifetime, all locomotives. So that's a nice one to go after first. But I actually want to do the aging one because that's a good one if we're going to be using Jervises. And then also the pulling mass is good. And the max speed. Oh, I only have 15 scientists. Okay, that's right. I didn't do the upgrades yet. So here, in order to upgrade to a Jervis, it's going to be 16 grand. and I will do it for both. And it'll tell you that it's going to do it, but then if you're out of money, it won't let you. But see, I'm making great revenue from the passengers. So that's why I was telling you the direct route thing is super powerful. Because the quicker you get the passengers there, the more money you get. So remember, 38.91, and then it was 59.30. So let's pay attention. Now that this is upgraded to a Jervis, look at the speed of this thing. So the other one was going like 34. I'm already up to 43 miles an hour. So it's going faster. And then just wait for it to get... And it's slowing down a little bit because the bridge slowed it down, or the turns, or maybe even the elevation. But, you know, it's getting into 40s now, right? So it's getting there a lot quicker. Let's see if the price changed. No, it did not. Shoot. I thought that would have improved the price. I've been made to look like a fool there. I really did. I thought that was going to improve the price. Alright, so then I'm going to go ahead and construct a sawmill. And then we're going to get... I don't have enough for the John... Now I do. We're going to get a John Bull. We're going to do 5. Nope, we'll do 4. I don't know why I screwed up. Okay, so he's going to deliver here, and then we're going to take this wood and sell it to the city as well. I don't know if you noticed, but we're making serious money on the farm at the moment. Oh, and it's a small farm, so it doesn't produce any leather. That's why it was cheaper. The farm that produces leather is a lot more expensive. And then this one is a 1-for-1. Most sawmills produce paper and wood and lumber, and so then it's 2 wood to produce the goods. So both of these are cheaper. But that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use... This city is going to sell to itself, and we're going to make $83.60 per lumber and $72.60 per meat. And all we're going to do is be selling it grain and wood. Now, it costs $57 for this. I would like to buy this too, but we'll see. And so we're paying $1,000 each. It's not the end of the world. Whoops. Because I had the train selected. Alright, so now I'm going to buy that for $55,000. So since he had less wood in his inventory, he was cheaper to buy. Alright, so I own the wood, so I'm going to be buying it for free, selling it for free, and then selling the final good. I own the wheat, buying it for free, selling it for free, but then I'm going to sell the meat. So these 2 trains are never going to make us profit. They're always going to look red, but I'm going to be making really good money from both of them. And then I have these 2, which are making good money just delivering. And in fact, Boston's next one is there. I didn't need to spend all that money. So if I lay this out, like right now, it's 10 grand. Then I cost that bridge. That bridge itself is 5,500. Keep going. $49,000, and then we merge right there. 46,000. That's not that bad. So we're at 30 right now. So I'm just going to wait, and then we can... There it is. I can do it right now. So now this train, he's repairing, but if he wanted to, he could have left and gone this way and not have to wait anymore. So we're going to get more revenue from those passengers now. Alright, and then we just researched pooling mass, which is going to make them go a little faster, and then we want their max speed now. I'm telling you, I would swear that delivering them quicker gets you more money, but maybe they're not enough quicker yet. I don't know if that was good grammar, but um, they're not quick enough is probably the better way to put it. So, like this guy should, now that his pulling mass is better, right? He can pull 66, because this is 54 mass, right? And it was 54 out of 60 something. He should go faster. So there he's going 44, 45. And maybe the difference is you don't make more money for transporting the passengers, but because you deliver them quicker, you're making more money quicker. You know, so by delivering them faster, you're making the money faster because you're delivering them faster. So if anything, that by itself is a boon. So maybe you're not getting paid more cash wise, but by getting across the map, half the time, you're going to make twice as much money. So maybe that's the better way to look at this. And see, we're already making some decent profit, and I'm just going to check one last time. I don't think it's going to change. Nope, it didn't. But he is delivering them quicker, and of course our numbers are going up. All right, so we got 10 going here. I'm going to go ahead and do reliability because we don't want them to break down. And then I think it's time. Let's catch up, right? So that's 20. There's our 30 grand. Let's get the trading department in, and that's expensive, but I'll do it. And we'll get the HR department going. We're fully upgraded, everything. And then we can come over here and, for example, that guy is really good. This one, also good. And even that one's not bad. It just means it takes a lot longer for the trains to break down. Max mileage is not quite as good as max age. I'll leave it be. I'm not going to go ahead and hire him. It just spent a lot of money. So yeah, we got another research done. I'm going to go ahead and see, like, we just increased the speed by 4. I'm going to go 3 and 3 more. Let's get the lifetime up. And I'll get rid of that, and then you can see, like, this guy, he was going 52 miles an hour. So they're flying now across, whereas it was, 34 with the John Bull. So already doing much, much better. And everybody's going to here, so that's causing it. I only needed 1 repair shop so far. I'm not delivering the grain to other places because, again, I got these bigger industries going. But as soon as this meat maxes out at 20, my big time money is going to go away. That's going to run out on me soon. But then I can start delivering meat to other places. But what I need to do now is start catching up with the Joneses here. And I need to make this a max size as well. So we're going to get this one going. So we have 2 tracks to there. That cost me 20 grand. And then we're going to get this one. This is going to cost me a lot more than 20. $37. I can still afford it. All right, so now I got nice tracks, more than I actually need at the moment, but it'll become very apparent soon. Because now what I want to do is we're going to get a John Bull going, and we're going to start delivering some meat. Because you can see we maxed out our meat, and so I need to find more and more ways to deliver it. And maybe get another John Bull to deliver more grain here, because it did stop producing for a brief period of time. I don't know how badly I need to really make that. The other thing I want to do is start getting my steel mill connections going, because I do need to construct a steel mill, and I still need to build a warehouse as well, which I don't know where I want to do that yet. I may actually just do it right here in Springfield. Or no, I could just still do it here. Sure. Um, I don't need to do it now. I can do it later. We have 880 days left. That's still a good amount of days. I need one path to go to Portland. So I'm going to use the rightmost track to do that. I'm going to use the middle track and the left two tracks to go this way. Yeah, and then one of them will go to Stratford. That's what I'm going to do. We've got a new employee. Construction of... So a station costs 5,000 flat. So at 30% off, that's 1,500 off per station. I need to connect to 1, 2, 3, 4 more stations. So that's $6,000, and I'm paying $400 a month for this guy plus. I mean, I guess I could hire him and then fire him. I'll leave it be. He's not that great. Okay, so I got this going. The lumber thing is going to eventually max out as well. Oh, that's right. I want to get the John Bull going first. 2, 3, 4. Meet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then come back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And deliver. I think those are the only places that take meat right now. But we will do it. And then I'm actually going to copy them. We're going to do 2 of them. Yeah, the lumber's very quickly filling up, and then I'm not going to get the money from that either. So the profits are going to start dwindling. I'm actually making some decent profits because I'm getting some of that free money. Alright, so this is setting us up to connect to those. And I know that's a lot of money, but it's track I have to build no matter what. And I do need 2. And the reason I need 2 is because there's 2 resources there, so I'm going to be coming up with 2 trains for sure. It's another $15,000. But this is a very big expense that to get out of the way. But the thing I really wanted to do is I'm going to start here. We're building a 3rd one. But the 3rd one is going to go to there. We got to get Stratford going. And we're going to connect Stratford to the oil. And we're going to build an oil thing there. Alright, so we got our science up. Let's get... Alright, we're at 100,000, which is excellent. So I want to get this going because I guarantee you we have a quest to do this, and I need $100,000 to get that oil refinery built. I'm going to do that right now. And yeah, Stratford now demands oil. So I'm making no money on anything except for my meat and passenger deliveries. So my lumber is still getting me $7,000 a pop here, but that's it. So getting that steel mill constructed is going to be very pricey for me. Alright, this John Bull has to go all the way across the map. 4 is heavy. We'll do 3 at a time. And yeah, so he starts here and he has to go all the way across to get there, and then he'll start this industry going. And like I said, the lubricants are worthless for us at the moment. Um, but the oil kerosene is going to be the big. And I didn't even have enough money to refuel. So let's go ahead and continue. Don't want to spend any more money there yet because we're a little low. Let's get this one to have a second repair shop. Second repair of those. So I only have 3 more spaces left, and this will take 2 of those spaces. And then this would also take 2. And there's nothing over here that takes, well, that one takes 1. So I could maybe buy 1 more of these if I wanted. So I could get like cheaper maintenance since this is my big maintenance place, right? That cost me $3,000, but I guess, over time, somehow that makes me my money back. Alright, so the passenger revenue is what's getting me my income here. That's why I'm saying that YouTuber that didn't do any passenger revenue was impressive, because the dealing with the goods, they get you temporary money, but sometimes the goods max out and then nobody wants to buy them anymore. So then what? What do you do next? Alright, we'll go ahead and do this one. Alright, so we got the Jervis improving. We have this guy going up to start the oil. And then what I'm going to do is going to get another one started. Because as soon as this gets produced, we need to get this going. And I can carry 5 of them and go 29 miles an hour. Or 4 and go 36. So we'll do 4. Because they have long distances to travel. Go there. And then go... Now, you've been noticing that I make them go to Stratford twice. If I don't, like, let's say I wanted to go back to Stratford again, but I didn't hit the plus sign, and I hit this, it just adds it to the first stop. And so the only way you can tell it to have distinct stops to go to different places, because it just moves from one to the next. So you just have to do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going, and then I'm going to copy it. I need 2 trains doing this. Now, this is only a single track here, and that's a little bit of a problem, which can easily be solved by connecting them right there. So this part here is still a singleton, but everything else is double. Alright, so we got that. We are staged to get these 2 resources, which are going to be very much needed. And then we just need to get our steel mill produced, and then our warehouse, which I know I've been delaying, but let's go ahead and do it. It is the cheapest thing to do, and then it gave us our credit, so we got our 150 points there. Okay, a warehouse. Right now has 20 storage capacity. I can improve it by spending $5,000, and that'll move it to 30. I can eventually get this up to 50. I can store 50 goods. And then you can see that the upgrade cost actually causes the upkeep to go up by $1,000. So it does make it more expensive to maintain. The city market is what I've shown you before. If I had anything in stock, I could sell from my warehouse to the city. The city is only going to buy what the city wants. But this is the global market. Take note, not all the goods are here. You can't, like, you can buy steel here, but I don't think that's always the case. Like, you can't buy tools, for example, or clothes. So some of the basic goods are the only thing available. And so I could buy, for example, grain for $19.45, which is a lot more expensive than the $800 from the other place. So I'm going to do this just for example. So now I have 1 grain in my warehouse. And see how it shows up here? I can have a train come and pick that up. Or the trick I was telling you about is I can come over here to the city market and basically tell it that anytime I have anything more than 0, sell it. So I'm going to sell it, and boom, I made 27.50. So I bought it for 2100 and it sells for 27.50. So 27.50. See, it automatically sold because I set up the rule. 23.53, 27.50. And now finally it cost me more than I would sell it for. But so I drove the price up. Well, if I had a warehouse here, I could take all this wheat and sell it, because right over here's the sell button. I can sell this for 23.29, which isn't as much, but I could drive the price down. And then I can come back up here and use this warehouse to buy it for dirt cheap. And then I'm basically giving Utica goods and selling it to Utica for a profit. So that's the idea of a warehouse. So you got to have like several warehouses to make them useful. In that kind of way, the global market way, or otherwise it serves as a place for your train to dump goods so other trains can pick it up. With the steel mill thing, it actually could be valuable because you could be like, okay, I'm going to take the ore to here and then drop it off instead of making the train go all the way across the map, which is what I'm doing here, right? So I'm taking this kerosene. I could have had just one train take all the kerosene, drop it off at a warehouse in Boston, and then had other trains pick it up from Boston and take it to wherever it needs to go. Or I can sell from that warehouse directly to the Boston market. You know, they make rotisserie chicken and, you know, are key players in the game. So there's a lot of strategies, and in fact, that strategy might be smarter than doing the 2 trains that I'm doing that's having to go all the way back here to pick up more, right? Because this is a big trip to pick up goods, and I'm making every train make that trip. And then after they pick it up, they have to carry it down. Why not just have one train carry it down, and that's all they do, and then just drop it off at the market? My logic is I'm going to build a steel mill here, and I'm going to build a tool market there. So I have plans. Maybe if Boston grows enough, they'll get a 3rd spot for sale. But that's the idea of a warehouse. Or you could have, for example, made Springfield something, and then that would have actually allowed you to do the steel market as well. All right, so let's get this and see if I can build a steel mill. And I can. And there we go. There we go. Now they want us to build a tool factory. Aha! So, the tool factory, of course, is even more expensive. And I may have played this scenario a few times. Alright, so we got that connected. We're going to upgrade it. Get this connected. It's really finicky sometimes about, you know, the tracks interfering with each other. It usually has to do with elevation. Like, see, you can see there's a little kink here. So, anyways. Okay, so we got both of those in place. I don't have enough to buy 2 John Bulls yet. I definitely don't have enough to buy a tool market yet. I know I can speed up the game a bit, but I don't want to. I'm thinking. Gotta make sure I have everything in place. So I gotta get some John Bulls going to collect these resources. Actually, let's get one of them going now, because this resource is a lot harder to collect. I can only carry 3 of those, and I need 2 for 1. 2 of these for every 1 of those. Oh, I remember what I wanted to do. I gotta get a repair shop here. Gotta get you repairing. Give you another spot to repair. You have to build a railroad to my friend from you. To build the railroad to Albany, Hartford, and Stratford as soon as possible and provide the cities with as many different goods as possible. So this is that mission that pops in that sort of surprises you. And so if you come back here, now all of a sudden you got these three. And look, Albany we already have. We had to get the population up to 15,000, and that's already been done. Why is Albany so... Well, because I built two markets, and I've been selling like mad. Like two of them are completely sold out. And I've been doing passengers. So Albany, super developed. Stratford, I got to go from 1,000 to 2,000 population. And then Hartford here, I got to get it up to 7,000, which is still a pretty significant number. And I'm going to get some of that accomplished by selling the meat, which I just did, and then the grain. So I got two of the goods going there. And then Stratford here, remember it only had 450, and we're already up to 1,000. And that's just probably from building the land and building on it. And then, maybe some people moved in just to work here. And then also, with this being active, you could see here, we already have 12 lubricants, which are, like I said, worthless. But we've been taking the kerosene, and so two of our... Actually, this is our other guy. He's already sold to Boston once. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, we've already sold some kerosene to Boston. So this other guy is going to go up. And given the amount of money we have, let's fix this. Instead of having them wait so much. This is also annoying. It says the railroad's occupied by the train. There we go. Flip her around. See, I could have saved all of this upgrade and track money by doing the other strategy where I just had one train just go and deliver to a warehouse. So that would have been more efficient than what I did. But trust me, the steel mill selling to the tool market that's in the same city is extremely efficient. It's just more long term. Albany now demands whiskey, which is another good that we haven't talked about yet. A little more advanced. We got this guy going. And what I'm going to do is we're actually going to buy another one of him. We got to have two trains on here and one train on there, basically. We're going to buy one, and then this guy can carry 4. And get 2 more tech going. Look, we're going to have this thing fully researched soon. And I still only have the 2 passenger trains making me money, but I am making money on other stuff, like the meat. Oh, look at this right here. Boom. Wow, I could do the strategy of the grain dumping. I really could. Wow. Yeah, so it works best if you pause. We're going to build a warehouse. And then I'm going to... Nope. I gotta click on the warehouse and do the city market. And I'm going to click on the wheat field and make a rule that if the warehouse stock has less than 20... Now I'm going to shut the rule off because I do need the wheat field to sell to the meat market. But for the purposes of this, though, I then come over here and I click on wheat and I just sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 8 of them, right? So it dropped to 11.21. I did make some money off of that. I come over here, click on this, and look how cheap it is. So 1, boom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the price did drop because since they have more than 0, the price did change. But did you see how that just changed things? And then I'm going to go ahead and unpause it now. Now I can come back here and I can sell again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I just sold 7 of them. Come back over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even an 8th one will get me. So that's the trick. What good does that do me? Well, I probably made an overall profit doing that. This Utica is actually going to grow because I'm now feeding it some of its goods. So you can see it's consuming the grain, and the growth is now medium because of all the activity I just did. I don't need Utica to grow, but it actually helps Hartford to grow, to sell this wheat to here and then selling it in the global market. You can see we got a medium growth here, and then of course we're selling some meat, which is going to help. So a couple of things will help Hartford with its development, and then you can see Stratford is moving right along because of the oil that we put there, and yeah. We could actually connect the wheat field to Stratford and deliver wheat and make Stratford grow some more. In fact, that's not a horrible idea. Get a John Bull going there. Now, what's going to end up happening is, since the John Bull is only going there, it's going to eventually fill up and not be very helpful. But then what I could do is just make a path to go here and have the John Bull deliver back here in Piermont for a while. And then here we got the steel mill should start to get rolling as soon as everybody gets there to do their job. And yeah, I'm at 162,000. So now I'm going to buy and construct that tool factory. Whoop, it's 170. I don't have enough. So here you can see I need lumber and steel. And so now we finished our mission, and then Granville here just grew. So we've just been buying these goods, and now they need those goods. Right, we're a little low on money. That was a big purchase. Look, we got this. So I'm going to sell to there. Anything that's more than 10. And then boom, we just got 10 times. We got 35,000 bucks just instantly for doing that. And right here you can see the tools. So they want us to build a track that goes from here to there to sell the tools, and we're going to get a John Bull out. You see that's maxed out. There's not a lot you can carry. 4 for 19, 3 for 34. We're going to start delivering wood to the tool factory, and then when we come back we can actually take some passengers. And then I'm going to actually copy that. We're going to have 2 trains delivering wood to Boston. Now those trains are going to start slowing down the passengers. So let's build a 3rd one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to merge here or not. We'll merge there. Yeah, we're low on money. Okay, so then the other thing I need to do, so the tool factory takes 1 steel. So I'm going to take the city market here, and I'm going to sell to the tool factory any steel that we produce. automatically goes to the tool factory. And it'll be free because I own both markets, or both factories. This T12 here, I think, is the ore, which is what he's waiting on. And I think this is the wood. Nope. Look at that, 12,000 for the kerosene. That kerosene selling for 12 grand. Oof. We got 9 up there. And it's at 4. Where's the kerosene guy? Where did the kerosene guy go? There he is. I'm going to get another one. Alright, so Hartford no longer demands grain. So here you can see we have a wheat field and a warehouse. But that grain that we were feeding him, he's grown so much that he no longer needs it. So we'll go here. Let's sell our last 5 that we had. And boom, Stratford hit its development goal. Hartford still needs to go up another 1,000, so we're gonna help them along. The other thing, there we go. So we just made some profit there. So this guy needs more business. I could sell the warehouse and put something else here. I just don't know what. In terms of like goods that are nearby, we have there's not much else to do. I could try to deliver some more logs down here, and I can at least get the wood going. I could, yeah, you know what? Let's do that. We actually have, oh, that's on the other side. So we could use this side here. It's pricey, but if it speeds it up. Have our John Bull. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll help the town to grow. That does mean I need to build a repair shop here. And this guy needs a repair stop. And you could tell real quick, like, which trains are wearing out. This one is yellow, and it's because I don't have a repair station here for him. So I gotta build it here. I don't necessarily need to make it faster for him, but I can afford it right now. And so, because he's yellow, you yellow belly, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then, yeah, he'll repair next time he comes back, which isn't very far away. Power of all locomotives +8, higher. Bridges and tunnels, higher. Even though I think I'm done. We'll go ahead and do max mileage as well. I can afford them now. Alright, so we're sitting on 100,000. You can see we got our first tools going. So let's get another John Bull. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do 3. We'll do 2. That goes at 37. And then we can even pick up some passengers. And off we go. So Portland, we could do some nice passengers, We could also build another. There's land for sale here now. I think at the beginning of the scenario there wasn't. So that's an interesting change of events. But the one thing I think is cool about this game, and I know Railroad Tycoon 3 did it way back in the day, is I love the way the map changes as you play and as the towns grow. Like, there's some pretty cool leveling up mechanics in this game. I like the fact that I have skills, right, that I can use. Um, I know some people like really crap on this game. Like they think that this is a horrible game, and I think they're nuts. Um, the one thing that they do distinctly complain about is that you don't have the ability to control where your train's going to go, like with signals and stuff like that. I actually find that minutia to not be fun to manage, and I don't know why other people do find it fun. Um, the one thing that's missing from this game is if I want to go over these three tracks, I would like to be able to build a bridge that goes up, over, and then back down. I can't. So what I have to do instead is um, I have to build a track that looks like this, right? That connects to this one, and then I need another track that connects to the middle one, and then I need another track that connects to the edge, and then finally I can have this one go out. So it's almost like the most horrible, rush hour traffic situation where you get that one person from interstate whatever that needs to go all the way to the left so they can exit to stay on the interstate. It's like, you make fun of engineers for designing roads that do that. Um, okay, so Piermont and Granville both need coal now. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna buy you for 73 grand and sell 3,600 apiece. And every time this thing goes up, it'll sell more. That's going to buy 4 of them right there. And we're going to be fine. It produces every 15 seconds. So that's what you do. You look for these opportunities. And I spent like 63 grand like without even thinking. And I sold 10 of these at 3,600. So if you do the math, I'm still not at break even yet. But this will continue to consume and this will continue to sell. I'll eventually make my money back. And now that I own this, I'm not paying 1,200 each for one to sell at the steel mill either. So it's just profit all around. Now this one here costs 1,600 each. So if you pay 82 grand for this one, you're doing it to save from having to spend 1,600 for each individual one. Because there is never a time where the city needs ore. The only thing that ever needs ore is a steel mill. That's the only thing in the game that consumes ore. Just like this one here, the lubricant. The only thing in the game that consumes lubricant is a weapon factory, which you could produce for 195,000. And look at that, it needs 3 steel and one of those lubricants. So I could build one here, ship the lubricant over this way, and then ship the steel that way, produce the weapons. But the only place that buys them is here. But look at how much they buy them for. 55 grand each. And then you got the city hall. The whiskey is 30 grand. Whiskey is a wood and a grain. That's very doable. In fact, you can have Albany be a whiskey place. Or, you know what? Let's demolish this. And let's build a whiskey refinery. And then let's sell to the whiskey refinery. We'll do 10. Boom. So you got 10 there. And then, there we go. That'll really help the city to grow. Because we're still not quite there. And then what that's going to allow us to do is we could then sell the whiskey to here for 30 grand, and to there for 30 grand. So if we thought we didn't have enough money now, we definitely will. Alright, and then I'm actually going to copy. And we're fully researched again. And I'm going to just come back and I'm going to crank on everything else. Okay, so yeah, this is a big traffic jam place. So I am going to put a third repair shop there. I can't afford to do that. And I got the cheaper maintenance. So these guys that are here, they're all either waiting for goods or they're waiting for free track. So like, see, they're all waiting for free track. And it's because they're all using this pathway here. I need to give them more. So I could take this middle one here and do a trick like this. So they're not all going out this one right here. And then give them another path. And then connect this one to the middle as well. So it's going from the middle here to the middle here. So all these trains are waiting for this one pathway that's either this or this. And by doing what I just did, I just opened the doorway for more of them to leave. And these guys are doing maintenance, and there you can see T5 and T14 both leaving. And T5 is not going to turn. That's fine. But T9 did take it. Then you got T8 also doing the same thing. They're following T9. T16 is probably following T8. It absolutely is. So I don't know why no one's taken this one. Probably because someone's coming back. Let's see. Yeah, there's nobody on this outer edge. I don't understand that part. Oh, there it is. So, and then that big traffic jam that you saw there, look how I unclogged it just by laying one more line. I had all these trains sitting here waiting for free just by going down the middle track instead of having them all come out this one and then making another path. It helps. It really does. And then what's he waiting on? So he is sold out max on his meat. So he's just waiting, and he'll sell the meat as soon as one of them gets consumed. And here you can see the whiskey is already going. So we're going to get a John Bull going. We can do 4 to there. And then 4 to there. Hartford, development is complete. So we've done everything. As soon as we deliver the tools, we win the scenario. So I know I'm making it look easy, but I promise you, without some of the tips or the tricks that I figured out, and if it's your first time ever playing this, this is actually quite challenging, and I really enjoyed the challenge. And some of these scenarios I had to load a couple times to be honest. Up until here, it's been smooth sailing. When we hit the scenario where you start the game, so basically the guy who owns Harrington, he has an addiction problem with gambling, and so he finds himself in all kinds of debt, and then you got to help him get out of debt. That particular mission was very, very tough for me. I could not figure out how to beat that one, and it was the start. The start was just so hard, and it still is. But anyways, there are some tricks, and then once you figure it out, it's not as bad. But it's still like I'm nervous that I'm making these look easy, but I think that one I could potentially lose in front of you, because I don't know if I'm guaranteed to beat that one every time. And they do get harder and harder, and eventually you're competing against other players. So other AI players will be on the map competing with you to sell goods. So it does ramp up. There's I don't remember how many scenarios are in this, but it's not just 4 or 5. It's closer to a dozen or 15, somewhere in there. We've already done what this is the third one. I would say closer to a dozen, 10 to 12. So here we go. We got the whiskey going. I'm already delivering some whiskey with this guy. T21. There's T20. So here we go. Whiskey's going to come in. And we're going to just start making money like big time. 30 grand. 30, 60, 90, 120 grand. Drop the mic. And see, by having the 2 here and then the 3 repair, you can see how everybody in parallel is getting ready to go. And then most of these guys are waiting for free track. And what this means is there's an opportunity now to free up track this way. And then I can have it connect to there. And then this here is another opportunity. That 11-mile-an-hour turn is a little bit brutal, but it'll work. This thing's growing like mad. All because of the oil. And what do we got here? Oh, he was waiting for a free track. I don't know why. Oh, because I got 2 more trains coming up here. Oh, that's right. I have a third. And then, yeah. Yeah, let's fix this. The railroad's occupied, so I can't. So he has to get like to a new segment. There we go. So that should open the door for these guys. It's like this one, like we were saying, is stuck. So what I could do now is have them start delivering there. Which does mean I now have to upgrade this one. Like so. And we got 4 tools already delivered. So this guy's already getting it done. We got 32 tools made. So watch this. I'm going to sell here. I'm going to save 5. Watch this. Oh my gosh, look at our money here. 381. $1 million. Oh, I enjoy it. I think this is a fun game. Alright, so we got things finishing up. Gonna add our scientists to other spots. I'm gonna make it so we can speed things up there. Get these guys moving as quickly as possible. T8. Our tool guy must already be gone. Nope. Where's our tool guy? Oh, there he is. I was going to say, he has his own track. He's not sharing his with anybody. And just like that, we're at $1 million. Just for selling some of these higher end items. The game does break a little. Like you get to this point where you're selling these higher level items, there's no challenge anymore. I mean, there are some things that can be a challenge. So, for example, when you start getting into the 10 wheeler, like the higher level trains, those trains cost like 80 grand to purchase. And if you ever get to minus 200,000, you lose the game, or minus 50,000 even, you lose the game. And you could, if you're not paying attention, you could go out and buy one of those big trains. And I mean, I'm in the million mark here, so I have plenty of money. But if you're sitting at around $100,000, which seems like a lot of money, but if it costs $80,000 for a new train, you could easily go negative, like instantly, and then lose the scenario. But that's just because you're playing boneheaded. It's not because it's a challenge. Anyways, yeah, I think we got this one in the bag. So we just gotta wait for the tools to deliver. Um, as you can see, the whiskey refinery thing. Since we own this 20 grand, we're not actually paying the 20 grand. I know the wood would sell for 7, and that would sell for 2. It's the same kind of math, where it's better off to just own the whole thing. But the fact that the wheat field's here, we don't even have to deliver the wheat. And then, of course, the wood we're taking from here, and as you can see, we're starting to drain the sawmill. One of the ways to fix that is, we could do this. And then that. So now we're going to deliver twice as much wood so the lumber can keep up. As you can see here, we're starting to not have enough lumber, which would mean we don't have enough tools, but we have plenty. Plenty of tools, and look, we got plenty of lumber here too. Eventually they're going to have 20, and then the trains are just going to be sitting here waiting to sell. But we're fine. One thing to keep in mind is if both of these was at full 20, it will not produce anymore, of course. So the oil will just pile up. If one of them is at 20 but the other is not, then it will produce. And here you can see it's taking 30 seconds with a population effect of plus 50, but the population's been booming here. So we took a town that was nothing and turned it into, like, look at all the demands, and it's even got passengers now. So that's the cool thing. Very, very cool. And we only have one last thing we can research, and then we're completely done. Next scenario, there'll be another train. It's going to be, I think, the Menman, which is a very important train. It'll replace the John Bull, but it's super expensive. So early game, it's really, like, I rely on the John Bull in the early game to get my money going, and then I can upgrade it to the Menman later. It's just a truth. The John Bull is a really fantastic early train. And I basically John Bull it through everything, and then I upgrade it later. So here we go. We're at 6 of 10. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. We don't even need to research any more technology, so we just want it to end. There's still plenty of wood, even though this guy, and see, we got a nice surplus going here, so the wood is coming. The wood is flowing. There's plenty of meat. Like, I could actually do another route, deliver more meat, because, like, look, there's meat demand everywhere now. Here. Like, we could start delivering to a lot of places. And then this should do it. Let's follow him home. I think I can. Ding ding. There it is. Okay, so we ended up getting 2550 experience for this one. And again, I was doing this. I want to finish this off. And boom. Now, there is an achievement that I have not yet gotten. Because you need to research everything in one of these 4 things, and then you get an achievement. I literally beat the entire campaign. I kid you not, and I never finished a single one of these because I kept, okay, now that I got this done, I want to move over and get these. And I'm doing it again, right? Because I'm doing it for you. But it makes total sense. Like, now, one thing I will confess to you is that the campaign where I played it all the way through and beat it, I missed a lot of objectives. And we've hit every one so far. Like, we have not missed a single bonus objective. And those bonus objectives give you these extra experience points. And I really left a lot of it at the table. And in doing so, I thought, okay, well, it's no big deal. I'll catch up. And eventually the campaign ended and I never researched everything. So I don't know if it's even possible to research everything, but that's what I'm trying to do here. That's my personal goal of doing this. And I do actually want to finish this off, but this is 1750 and that's another 2000. Like, I don't want to waste all these points on stuff that is not going to be as helpful as, for example, I want to maybe do research start price, because these trains, these higher level trains that we're starting to get into, the research price, for example, for an American is 100 grand just to research it. So getting this 3% off, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but this could add up. This maximum age is very big. But really, the building construction cost, you saw that steel mill and that tool factory was expensive. And so, this really helps, especially when you're in the early game. Like, I like to buy a farm right away. And so it's not buy a farm, it's to build a farm, right? So you buy the land and then you slap down a farm so I can instantly just, produce some money making opportunities. Well, having building construction costs of minus 10%, takes that $48,000 farm and makes it 44. So that gives me 4 more thousand, for somewhere else. So this is, to me, very valuable. And even late game, when you're paying 200 grand to build a steel factory or a tool factory or a weapons factory, this really drastically reduces the cost. Now, at the same time, I was able to show that once you get one of those higher end things going, you can make some serious bank. And so then the construction savings for those higher end buildings is not as big a deal, but it's that first one. So that steel mill took a lot of saving for us to finally be able to afford it. That's where I'm going. So I find these to be very valuable. Like I said, we're going to be fired soon. And so getting these 4 is going to be very helpful because we're going to have to re-research everything we've already researched. I know it looks like I got the whole tree figured out, but after we get fired, that thing wipes clean and we have to start over from scratch. We're literally going to be at the best friend again. And then you have to research everything all over. So getting these in is going to be very helpful. This here is just the strategy of why I picked our character. As you've seen, I'm laying track all the time. And getting the bridge building cost to go lower, huge. The tunnel costs lower, huge. It just costs so many points to do this. I got 600, that's 650, that's 700. I could do that one, but who cares? So there you go, I'm done. Alright, so I'm going to hit the next mission, but basically I'm just saving. It's nighttime. I gotta go. So this is done. So we have to take the cargo, 15 carriages of clothes, and Gastonia waits for you. He has some business in Canada. Okay, so we're in the Carolinas. This is one more mission. That's the tutorial, and then after that is his gambling addiction thing, I think. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah. Okay, so this one is a little tricky. what you have to do with this one is you have to do 5 contracts. So they just added a new tab here called contracts. So basically, King's Tree. Well, we're let's pick somewhere where there's an actual industry. This textile factory, they need cotton. They want cotton from anybody, not necessarily from you. So there'll be a contract to deliver cotton to them, and it'll show up as a special thing. And if you deliver, let's say, 12 cotton in 300 days, then you'll get a big bonus of like $120,000, like it's flat rate cash. You don't get paid anything while you're delivering, but once you deliver all 12, then you get the big bank. But if you fail and you run out of time, then you lose $20,000 or something like that. So now this particular mission, of course, is introducing the idea of contracts. So like I said, you're sort of tutorialing again. But you can't fail a single one. So every contract you agree to do, you must complete successfully in order to get this 200 points. So I can tell you for sure I did not get this 200 points in my playthrough. I failed to get the 500 points here. It took me longer than 1,300 days. And then you have to do 5 contracts to get 600. So there's actually a few more things you got to do, but that's basically it. And you have to deliver clothes right now, but eventually you have to deliver furniture. Like you have to deliver a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just clothes. And again, these clothes are for free. So this particular mission right here, they're not paying you for the clothes. So you can see here, that's free, and then here they'll pay you. So you have to sort of balance it out. Anyways, I don't have time to play this tonight. This would take me a very solid hour to get through. But this is the next mission. I will be saving it right now, in fact. And we're going to do the campaign here. The Metropolis one, I had a blast playing, like I said. Hornet Bay is just very relaxing. It's actually a perfect new player one to do. Niagara River, I thought was extremely challenging, but it was frustrating in some ways, but it actually was fun. It took me 5 days to beat that scenario. And that's after I know what I'm doing. But 5 days of playing it, failing, and playing it again. Maybe we can do that one at some point. It's a single scenario, but it literally took me 5 days. And I'm talking like, yeah, I stopped to help the family with Thanksgiving cooking and cleanup. But like, while all 3 football games are going on Thanksgiving Day and the family's talking, I'm sitting here, ignoring them, playing this dang game. That's the way it was. All right. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome. And next video, if this interests you, is this one. And like I said, we got to do 5 contracts. There's a lot of RNG. The contracts will pop up anywhere on the map. And one mission, you'll get a contract right here in Rock Hill, which is like, okay, yeah, I started right next to it, so I could do that right away. And then another mission, you'll get a contract that's way out here in Henderson, which is like completely on the corner of the map and it's worthless. So those you have to be opportunistic about. But the big thing here is you got to find a way to make money. And Gastonia, they literally start you out in a crap hole with basically like Stratford. But anyways, I'll shut up because I know I'll be repeating myself later. And as always, thank you.